Are we live? We got a connection. All right, so here's the deal. It's crazy up there. Honestly, I don't think they'll ever question crowd size again, as far as from us in the media. If you go to my Twitter at @JLeeQuinn, you can see I posted a couple of clips as soon as I got bandwidth, because you can't post anything once you're in the crowd of the Capitol. I mean, I'll try to go back, but then this might drop because there's just so many people jammed in here. But I posted a couple of clips so you can see what's going on. There's people climbing the scaffolding. There's two sides of scaffolding that lead up on this side of the Capitol, and there's people just Spider-Manning their way up the scaffolding. And I went up the slow way, which was the stairs next to the scaffolding. I'm gonna try to get us closer, see if the signal holds up. But there's a lot of rumors once you get in, because nobody has cell phone reception. So it's like a game of telephone in there, where people are hearing one thing. For example, that there was a woman was shot, but then that spins out of control because nobody has any updates and reception once you get in there. So that's why I'm outside right now. You can see that I'm just outside the Capitol here. It would be interesting to see what the coverage looks like compared to what I've seen across the country. To be quite honest, this is the same kind of populist riot that I've seen in cities all over. Obviously, they're wearing different clothing and so forth, but there's not a lot of difference. So let's see if this holds up. A little bit closer. As I said, if you guys want to watch video, it's on Twitter at @JLeeQuinn, at JLEE Quinn. Take off the mask. Yeah, I guess I can. Now, when I was in there, I had it on because if you want to talk super spreader event, this is it. This might drop as I try to get back closer, but I have the video up of as high up as I got, the scaling and so forth. Let's see what's going on here, how close we can get without the signal dropping. But as I said, once you get inside, it's like a game of telephone. People were talking about, does anybody know if it's true that Nancy Pelosi's office was stormed? That was a rumor that was going around, that someone got shot, but then that developed, and of course, to like much bigger rumors. So once you get in this area, they haven't had cell phones. So let's see if this keeps up. You can also check, I have a lot of videos on the Twitter handle, but also at publicreport.org on Facebook. I posted a lot of videos. Last night at Black Lives Matter Plaza, I went live there, and you can see the live stream from last night too. If you guys have any questions, curious about Banned on the Book. Looks like, let's try to get in a little quicker. I don't know what the office picture is. I haven't seen it. But I'll tell you, as I'm sure the headlines will make this out to be extremely riotous, you wouldn't believe it was like when you're at a music festival and you're all packed in. That's what it took for me to get from where I am now up to where is it? Oh, it's on that side. Up to the Capitol. It was like being at a music festival. All those years of going to music festivals gave me the experience I needed to bust up towards the front there. It's someone from Blaze reporting in her office. Oh, wow. Oh, that's Elijah probably. Elijah Schaefer. Did he get in? Because Elijah and Brennan are two guys that were up there first. Brennan's independent. Schaefer is with the Blaze. But so those guys got up there before I did. I wasn't in the initial charge. I was more towards, I guess I was cautiously a little bit more towards the later end of it. But here, if we're still live, I'll give you a live feed here.
Can you send that to me? You're gonna have to watch Newsmax.
That's good. That's good.
How, were you up there? Were you up there?
I was in there.
You were in there.
I was in there.
Can you give us? Can you give us? We're on a live stream.
No, she said, I'll be on Newsmax.
So this lady was in there. What went down? How did it go down?
How did it go down? Well, we tried to go upstairs and they smoked us down twice. After the twice, we all, thank you Jesus, finally stood together and went right through it. Got up to the doors, the door got busted out, the windows got busted out, and we barged into our house. It's our house.
It was somebody shot. I heard.
Not when I was in there, and I don't believe a word these fake news people are saying. So no.
There's a rumor that one person got shot, but there's.
You just said it. You just said it. Rumor.
But I heard it in there too. As I said, they don't trust the news here.
Let me tell you, I approached a police officer because my daughter is a police officer, and I asked him, I said, can I walk out or are you taking me to jail? Because I'm ready today. And he went like this. I said,
let's go.
Done. He's done. They're done. The cops are done.
Gotcha.
They threw their hands up. They're done.
Did they get into, there was another rumor, but these were going around the crowd. That's why. There was a game of telephone. I was up there in the scaffolding, and everybody was passing on that they got into Pelosi's office, stuff like that.
I don't know. When we got in, everybody dispersed.
Okay.
We went to the round chamber.
Okay.
So there was a lot of people.
Exactly. It's hard to kind of figure out the rumor. Even being there, I was telling these guys, it's like being in a music festival. You have to get through that crowd. You know, it's pretty intense. But were you at the front of the crowd all the way from?
No.
Oh no.
We were towards the. I don't even know.
We don't even know.
When we came up, there was already people piled up in here. But I just
once we saw the breakthrough, we pushed through. We told our grandchildren, we're not letting this happen. We're not letting this happen.
And how do you characterize, for people who might get another story from the media, how do you characterize yourself as protesters, demonstrators?
Newsmax.
How do you characterize yourself, though? Is why you're here?
An honest American patriot.
We are praying.
I will not lie. I do not lie. I have one God. He is the one I'm accountable for.
Yes.
Well, thanks for talking to us. I appreciate it. Are you with any particular group or just here as individuals?
No,
We're praying grandmas.
Praying grandmas.
We've been on the road 6 months doing these Capitol things.
Okay.
No,
Praying
not
grandmas.
Yeah.
Every
peaceful
Capitol.
protests.
Peaceful ones until today. They've kicked the bear way too many times.
My
It's like family.
My Georgia sister. Girl, we got it. We did it. We said we would and we did. Oh my goodness. Oh.
This is pretty.
Steven. You guys. These are our Georgia sisters.
I know. I don't know how I'm still alive, but I am.
Yes.
So they're celebrating here.
Ladies, take care.
So the grandmas, those are the grandmas. Let's see if we can get even closer without the band. If it'll cut out, I don't know. Might as well tempt fate. So MSC also showed her being carted out. Yeah, those are the grandmas. They're pretty excited. I guess, you know, the people that I've seen on this, it's almost like they're on tour, like activists on tour. And they go from, as the grandma said, they go from capital to capital. But you heard her, what she said. She said, you poked the bear too many times. Now, what I've come to understand, you know, is everybody in the mainstream news, you know, portrays everything in terms of conspiracy theorists and so forth. Now, what I've noticed is a lot of the signs are about the same stuff that the left is upset about. Holding Congress accountable. A lot of constitutionalists for the most part, but you can still see it's packed. People are, this might drop any minute as far as the live stream is concerned. I'll see if this sticks up. As I said, you could go to my Twitter. I tweeted a video when I was all the way up there earlier. All right, let's see. Oh, we're back. We're back. Nice. Is the C-SPAN building safe? My uncle is there. Oh, because, you know, everything's safe. This is the other thing. Nobody had guns. So, of the protesters, the image. All right, I'm going to talk about something. Do you remember the Michigan Secretary of State when it was said the protesters were armed? Well, it turned out they weren't armed. This is a story I broke because I called the Detroit Police Department and they said that they saw no guns of any kind. The video showed no guns. The protesters said they had no guns. And the Michigan State Police said they never saw any weapons. I can take this off now, I guess. So the characterization of all these protesters, I think, in the media is that everybody has guns, but nobody has guns. You can't have guns in DC. So there aren't armed protesters. So the idea that that people are unsafe or that these protesters are here to, attack people, I hate to say it, but that's inaccurate. You know, it's just they go up against. Last night I saw them go up against the cops at Black Lives Matter Plaza, and that was against COVID regulations, is what they told me they were going up against the police for. But let's see if we can get the Capitol in. Oh, there it is. I think this is the furthest away from the Capitol I can get and still stay. But I can't. I'm not used to this. I don't know how to do this. Okay, what were we talking about? Is the C-SPAN building safe? You know, I would say the thing is, if they did this, a lot of this is, I would say, performative in the sense they did this to make a statement. But again, nobody has guns, nobody has weapons, nobody has batons. It's not like that. Go ahead. So he said not like Black Lives Matter movement. I didn't say it.
Not one police car is damaged. Not one window is broken. Not one statue's toppled. Because we're decent people.
So
That's it. We're decent people.
he said we're decent people. Now, as a neutral observer, you could tell that on the tip of my tongue, I was trying to tell you guys, nobody's carrying guns. This isn't a violent crowd, but it's a crowd that wanted to push in and make a statement. And they will push up against police, who they characterize as oath breakers, is the word that you hear a lot. I heard it a lot when I was in there. Oath breakers, that the police should let them come in and take their democracy back. So I don't know what characters. I haven't seen any of the media headlines right now. As you could see, if you rewind this broadcast and go back to where the women who were up there were celebrating, they're very positive in what they're doing and their energy. Now, I don't know. It was like a rock concert, being in there and squished in with all those people. But that's how they characterize themselves. I will say that what I've seen, what's going on here? What I've seen hasn't been contrary to that. In other words, I haven't seen people with weapons trying to destroy anything, but just trying to make a statement and push their way into the Capitol. Now, if something else has happened, somebody, let me know, inform me. Because again, we have limited bandwidth here. So if you've heard anything, please let me know and I can verify it. Just type it in on the feed. I think this is about as far as I can go. But I posted those videos on Twitter at J Lee Quinn of everybody climbing the scaffolding. I have a ton of other video. It's just that it takes so long to get anything uploaded here because of just how many cell phones there are, how packed it is. So they're going to go to the mayor's house, they say, next. But literally, it was like being at Coachella or something where you have to burrow your way. You have to burrow your way through the crowd in order to get close. But then once you pass the grounds, you lose your cell signal. So you're stuck, and that's why it took so long for me to get any video up since I've been here. But people are streaming out. So, I think there's going to be a lot of talk about what you consider to be peaceful protest. Because just this morning, I was reading about Shutdown DC that came to the residence of, what was the Republican senator? His name's eluding me right now. And they were talking about, the left was talking about Shutdown DC, was talking about how that was peaceful protest. Well, is this peaceful protest? They'll be talking about, I'm sure, what that means now. DC curfew for sick. Do we expect reasonable and peaceful withdrawal? No, I would say no. They were chanting "fuck the curfew." They're going to the DC mayor's house right now, residents, to protest the curfew. So, do we expect reasonable, peaceful withdrawal? If anything, they're going to now go from what the woman on the bullhorn was saying. They're now going to go to the DC mayor's home residence to protest the curfew. So. Of course, in the last 24 hours, very little activity from the left. I live streamed from Black Lives Matter Plaza yesterday, and we saw very little from the left. I'm going to cut this stream right now, and I'm going to see if I can go a little closer. I said I'll be on again at 5 p.m.